Hey everyone, how's it going? This is the Bald Metal Nerd coming at you with a companion piece to my previous video where I talked about the different types of selling. That made me think about basically, doing work for yourself versus someone else, right? And how do I define work for yourself versus someone else? Well, it's not just necessarily about being an employee versus, like, quote, having your own business, because I kind of do both of those things, right? Obviously, I primarily earn my living, doing my normal, day shift job, right? Which is IT work, of course. And how do I feel about, doing that work? Well, if I'm going to be perfectly honest, I'll, if I didn't have to do it, I most certainly would not. I only do it out of necessity, right? Not because I have a great love for it or a great desire, anything such as that. Basically, I only do it because I need to get the money for it. That's my motivation. I have no real motivation beyond the monetary motivation to do it. There's nothing else. It doesn't like if suddenly, like, let's say I became wealthy, very wealthy, and I didn't need to work anymore, I would not miss it at all, right? Because all of the work that I do for, quote unquote, my company that I work for, it's not terrible or anything, but I most certainly would not choose to do any of it if I was not getting paid, right? It's just as simple as that. So that's how I feel as an employee, right? So let's talk about, quote, running my own business or whatever, because I do that a fair amount as well, right? Basically helping people on the side. Obviously, um, it's kind of similar, right? I'm only doing work for those people on the side, of course, the monetary thing driving me towards doing that, right? Because obviously, I'm not going to just go around to people's homes randomly and do free technical work for them. That would be kind of ridiculous, right? And I can only imagine how much I would be taken advantage of if I offered something like that for free. That's definitely not going to happen. And again, even though, like, quote, I'm in charge of scheduling and accepting the work or not, doing the work or not, and I definitely have more flexibility in, what I can choose to do or not do with my own business. I mean, I basically have total control over what I take on and what I don't. Ultimately, though, it's still in the service of someone else and not myself. And clearly, it's not something I would choose to do if not for the financial aspect of it, right? Duh. So it's still kind of the same motivation. Yes, the execution is different, but the motivation is identical, right? And I just do, of course, do that at a much higher rate because, well, if I'm cutting into my personal time, it's going to cost whoever's paying me quite a bit because my personal time is very valuable to me. And thirdly, there's, quote, doing work for yourself. And of course, what I mean by that is, the project that I'm working on, finishing my basement, doing yard work, whatever else, chores or projects, right? Um, Chores are things I do around the house, like cutting the grass, pool maintenance, all that, because I have to, right? Like, somebody has to do it, and I'd rather do it myself than pay a fairly hefty fee for someone else to do the work for me. It's quote worth it to me to do the work myself because I can do it. It's not that difficult. Yada yada yada. And as far as things like the project go, well, I'm going to make a separate video about why I like to DIY so much. But again, the motivation for me doing the chores is more financial, but going the other way because I quote want to save the money on doing the chores, right? Whereas things like finishing my basement, right, which is a giant project, um, it's not just about saving money. My main motivation for doing it, it's not like a chore. It's not like cutting the grass where it's just a task. I have to do it, right? Doing the basement, I'm doing it simply because I want to do the basement. That is my motivation. It's purely my desire to do this work for myself, right? And that's the type of thing I mean by, like, quote, doing work for yourself. Perhaps when I'm retired, I might do some IT work on a volunteer basis for an organization that I feel, needs the help or whatever. That could happen. And again, that's more of the same thing. That would be, basically I would be doing that work because I would have a desire to, help out what I would consider an organization that needs it. And there would not be monetary. It's still a desire, right? So basically what I'm trying to say is there's only two reasons why people work, I think. One is just desire to do whatever it is, right? Just a desire. And the other one, of course, is just monetary, either to make money or to save money, right? And it's as simple as that. So I hope you guys got something out of this. I know I went a bunch of different directions. I hope it made sense. Anyway, that is pretty much it. As always, live long, prosper, keep on rocking. I will see you guys in the next